Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Trading Room. I'm Shane Vernier, and this is CPI Live. Today, we're going to be covering a lot of different things to do with inflation. We're going to be digging into some of the key markets around the world. Clearly, the Euro USD is going to be in play. We have a great resistance level there. Also, I'm looking at gold closely. It's not a party without gold, so we'll be sure to get in to that gold market as well. And then also the Great Britain pound USD is going to be on the front burner, and we're also going to be looking at U.S. oil as well. So CPI is always a huge event. I want to welcome everybody to the room. I want to welcome everybody out there in YouTube land. I think that we've got a pretty good trading opportunity here. Not very often do we get a number that has the gravity of CPI. And let's just dive right into it and see exactly what we're dealing with here. This is a good look at the CPI home. It's going to be an interesting release right here. U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is going to give us this number just a little bit later on today in about T-9 minutes. And you'll see exactly what we're dealing with here. We've got a 12-month percentage change, and we are way in the positive on all these. So inflation's been the number one market driver in the world, and I think that we're going to be in for more fireworks today. So we're going to go over what we're going to expect, and we're going to hit some key levels. Good to see everybody back in the trading room. Mark Corp, good to see you. Evelina, Bobby, Bob. Zach Mack, Bobby Australian, always a pleasure, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, definitely an early morning for me, but money never sleeps. That's how the old saying goes. And good to see everybody on YouTube land. Emmanuel, good to see you. Linker, Kleck, Phillips, Stanley. Should we buy or sell? What do you want to buy or sell, Stanley? That really depends on what we're talking about, but big time number today, and it's absolutely imperative that we get on the right side of this. So week 28, it's been a big week thus far. RBNZ definitely has headlined the action as well as Jay Powell's testimony. But take a good look at what we've got today for you. U.S. CPI, these are our expectations. We're looking at about 3.4% on core year over year. The big number that we want to focus on here is that raw CPI index. That's going to give us an idea of exactly where pricing stability stands, and we're going to go ahead and preview that in just a second. Let's get out to price action. Great Britain pound USD. The Euro USD. This is the market that I wanted to start with because this is an absolute fantastic look at a potential resistance level, a macro resistance level that we could potentially trade during this event. So I'm watching 108.62 relatively closely. This is our weekly chart. This is a good look at our weekly price action. You can see this nice big wave, all right? This nice big 2-week sell-off. Then we had a couple of inside weeks and then a break last week. And this week thus far, we've really went up and sort of put in a proximity test of our topside resistance up there at 108.58. So how did I come to that conclusion? Well, I use Fibonacci retracements an awful lot. If you've watched any of my live streams, you're probably sick of seeing them. But what those Fibonacci's do, I like to apply those on multiple time frames, and in doing so, we get an opportunity to define our support and resistance levels and really dive into the markets where it suits us best. So I'm going to go over a quick sequence here facing the Euro USD and really point out some key levels. Let's see, Philip, gold, is it selling? Yeah, we're going to look at gold next. Could gold be the sell I'm seeing? Real Cedric, I don't know. Real, we're going to see. Dragon, good to see you, Dragon. All right, everybody. So for my Euro USDs, relatively straightforward. We're going to work from this spike high right down to this real double bottom down there on the weekly. All right. Now, what do we have? We got a pretty good situation here. Top side resistance is right there at 108.63. Now, there's one other way we can look at this. We could say, okay, Shane, this is a nice uptrend. Do I want to buy the Euro USD right now? And I say, I really don't care. I just want to trade it. I either want to sell my resistance or buy support. And I encourage everybody that's an active trader to take that approach. You're going to want to remain flexible with your thinking. So if I'm going to do some overlapping Fibonacci's, where would be a decent supply zone? Where could I buy at potentially? So our support zone. Right down there, right around 108, maybe 107.91. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. Why did I do that? And if you're brand new, you're lost in the weeds, don't worry about it. This is the type of stuff that we cover every day on live stream. After 3 or 4 live streams, a lot of this is going to make sense, and especially after you watch some of our strategy tutorials. So we've got a real confusing situation right there. Let's make it easy. Let's go right there. Let's get rid of that last Fibonacci we put on. 50% pullback right around that 108 level, 107.91, and then you've got 78% right up there at 108.63-ish. So for me, I'm partial. I would love to sell this market if we get a chance, but I would also not hesitate to buy down there right around 108. So we're watching those in the Euro USD relatively closely. I think we're going to have a decent chance to really get in with a little bit of meaning here. Okay, we've got about 5 minutes left. So gold was the next market up that we wanted to look at. Now, gold has just been an absolute tear north. Now, from a multiple time frame perspective, what we always want to watch is we want to make sure that we understand if a market's trending or if it's in rotation. Now, this market's trending. There's no two ways about it. We're seeing a really nice, robust run for 2024, bull run in gold 2024. So when I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, Shane, how do I get long? How do I get long? Good to see you, Bobby Bob. Welcome. Well, I want to get a nice pullback level. Can I do that on the monthly chart? Well, it's going to be sort of difficult. I'm going to work right from my spike low there, the top side high. Where's the key level? 22.75. We've been looking at that level forever, but we're about $100 off of that. So I want to get current. I want to get in the game right now. What can I do? Well, I want to be long. If I can buy this market, I would absolutely love to do so. In the trading room this week, we've really had this level pointed out, this 23.55 zone pointed out, and you can see that it's been absolute money in the bank. 38%, 23.55. We've hit this repeatedly. I'm watching it again today. I'm watching it again today on the CPI number. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't have to be the most sophisticated market technician in the world. You just need to find something that works. And what I'm looking at here is I'm saying if I get a nice sell-off, we've got a lot of folks that want to sell gold right now. I don't necessarily know that that's the best idea, but if in fact we have a chance to buy it down there at 23.55, I say we do it. I definitely say we do it. Bitcoin, Sleepy's on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's sort of been on a roller coaster, definitely been in the news. I mean, 58,000, we're beneath 60,000. We may look at Bitcoin here in just a second. We got a couple more markets to cover and about 3 minutes to do it. And so right there for gold, I'm watching 23.55. If you wanted to get very current, meaning if you want to be on the cutting edge of the gold market, I will go right to my 4-hour chart and proceed with caution. I really would. A lot of folks want to sell right now. That's really difficult for me. You kind of have a little cup with handle setting up if you're a market or if you're a pattern trader. That right there would be your cup. That's your handle. Typically, that's a bullish type of a scenario. In my opinion, I would be waiting for my big level to come into play right down here at 23.55. I think that's a pretty good one. If, in fact, you wanted to trade this aggressively to the bull and you say, Shane, I want to buy this thing, you're kind of already late. You can see we already tested that 23.78 level and bounced up. So I want to see a big move here. I would not really go with a 4-hour chart. And we're going to get into some real high-impact scalping here in a second in the futures market after our numbers release. Great Britain Pound USD, right there, you've got a big bullish break this month. I mean, we're up almost 2%. And you can see the breakout really is almost on a couple key levels that we need to watch, though. Right there's your yearly high. There's March's high. Definitely have this number written down. This is real basic stuff, but it's important to understand where these macro levels lay. Right there, your high, 128.93. I'm watching 129 very, very closely. I would be surprised if the Great Britain Pound breaks over 129. That's going to be my shorting entry. So if I was going to look to really sell this thing, with a little bit of meaning. Right now we're printing about 128.72, 128.92-ish, 93-ish is going to be your yearly high. This level right up around 129, I fully expect some sellers to step in with a little bit of aggression there and maybe drive, at least put an intermediate term top on this market, and maybe we get a nice little pullback there. So that's what I'm watching, the Great Britain Pound USD. If you wanted to buy it, you certainly could, but we're going to do that after the fact. I'll break those levels down after our numbers drop because I got a feeling that we may, in fact, get a chance to trade this 129 area. My trade would be simple. I'd be looking to sell maybe 128.94s, 95s. Stop loss is going to be up there at 129.29. That way, if I'm wrong, I get out. Always remember that's the key to trading. All right, we got about 36 seconds left. U.S. oil, pretty much going to be a great market today. I think we're going to be in for some great trading on U.S. oil. That's what I'll be trading on the futures markets. But you can see we really called the top of this one beautifully, 84.35. We've come back down. We were talking about bidding 81.81s yesterday. As far as I'm concerned, this level is key. On the CPI number, I sort of expect crude oil to rally. So if I was in the market right now, I would be waiting. I'd be bidding 81.81s and selling 84.35s. I know that's simple, but sometimes simple's good. All right, everybody, this is what we're looking at for this CPI figure. This is the problem. Since COVID, we've got a very, very steep release. Okay, there's our release. We should be getting some kind of action here. All right, we've got bullish price action in gold. Let's get right back out to price action. We've got bullish action in gold. As soon as you guys see the number, just yell it out. Let's see. Nice big break right up to right around 2,400 in gold. Interesting zone. We're watching that closely. We would love to bid 23.55. How about our Euro USD? Freight trained. Absolutely is freight trained. Our top side resistance. We're still not out of this game, but right now we broke above that 108.63 area, and we're sort of taking off north. So as long as we're above that zone, right now I'm thinking I want to get long, and we're going to do some trading right now. It's important that we understand price action is there. We've got to get to our lower time frames and start trading this aggressively. 78%, that level's gone. Now the Euro USD, we're running at 109.17. I want to get long, and I want to do it relatively quickly. So let's go right down to a 1-minute chart and see what we're dealing with. There's our breakout right there. Okay, you can see our macro zone. What was the number? Does anybody have the number here from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics? Let's go ahead and see if I got it right here. Let's break it out. Let's go. CPI for all items falls 0.1% in June. All right, fantastic. This is an interesting zone right here, though. What we're going to look to do is we're going to look to maybe buy in on this bullish break if, in fact, we can get a retracement. Now, normally, I would be looking right here to bid potentially a 38% level. I'm not interested too much. I want to see that pull back right to our key zone, 108.63. That's where I would want to get long. I think that's a pretty darn good trade. The real question is are we going to get it? Let me see, 314.18. That is the raw data there. Thank you, Micho. Big time read right there. That suggests that maybe, just maybe, we're going to see the impact of inflation coming into check. And then maybe, just maybe, we're going to get that rate cut in September. We're going to talk about that in a second as well. We've got a nice 1 minute chart right here. So I'm looking to bid 108.63 as long as this top stays in 108.92. I think that's a fantastic zone. What do we got right here? Gold. Gold's freight training north. It's going to be the same kind of read, guys. We want to get current, and we want to make sure all those long-term levels, scratch them. What we want to do now is we want to be able to get long with a little bit of, I would say, precision. And in order to do that, you go right down to a 1 minute chart. How can I trade a 1 minute chart accurately right now? Two reasons. We've got maximum participation, and we've also got tremendous volatility. Now, when you have those two things, we can trade pullbacks. Right now, the definitive move is against the U.S. dollar. The DXY tanking, absolutely tanking by 0.5%. We're going to have a chance to trade. The real question is where can we get our levels at? Got to be patient. First and foremost, absolutely have to be patient. So for me, gold right now, right there is your pre-CPI levels. You're seeing prices just grind higher. A little bit of static here at 2,400. We're looking right now to buy pullbacks. So right there, I'm just moving my 38%, or my Fibonacci's with this big bullish move. And what we're looking to do here is potentially get that bid, and that's what we want. 23.92 right now would be our bid from 38%. I think it's pretty good. 23.92, so I'd be bidding 92.83. So we'd be looking at something like buying. I want a limit order 23. Let's see, 23, 90. Let's go 92, 89. Well, 23, 92, 89. That would be my entry point. My entry point is right there at 38%. This is a good look at the Fibonacci counterpunch strategy. I cover this pretty much every day. 23, 92, 83. We're going to shade that a few pips, and that's going to be my scalp. So what do I want to get done here? What do I want to take out of the market, and what do I want for my stop loss? We're going to manage this trade on the fly. I want to go ahead and put that limit order down and put it in the queue, and there we are sort of waiting for this pullback to develop, and if we get it, we're going to get a pretty darn good chance of getting paid off. So we're watching this one closely. As long as that swing high remains sort of the top of this market, I'm going to have a chance to trade, and it looks like we're sort of coming our way. We're about $7 above our entry point right now, but as much action as in this market, we can definitely get an opportunity to trade it. How's our Euro USD looking? We're going to have to adjust our Fibonacci's to the new 1 minute swing high, and I really think we have a chance to trade right here. 108.75.3. Let's go ahead and put our buy limit order in the queue. Let's see, what do I want out of this one? This one's going to be a little more straightforward. I'm going to want just a little. Let's see. Let's just go with something relatively easy. Let's go with a nice 10 pip scalp. My stop loss, let's go ahead and put that in for 10 pips as well. My entry point's going to be 108.75. Let's go ahead and go 108.76 is going to be my bid. I want to buy limit order, put that in the queue, and this market is coming our way beautifully. So let's go to our trading dome, and you can see right here is going to be our entry point right there, 108.76 right in that zone. If we do get our pullback back into our CPI breakout bar, then we're going to have a chance to trade this. The big question that I'll get right off the bat, Shane, is the market still trending? Hard to say right now. Hard to say. That's why we're going to have a real short leash on these scalps. But this is your news bar. Crazy news bar, sort of points to a dovish dollar. If, in fact, we get a chance to bid down here, do you think we can get paid off here relatively quickly? Well, we're going to see. I mean, right there is going to be our profit target, 85, and then our stop loss is going to be right down in here. You know, clearly a better entry would be down here at this 108.63. I would call that our secondary entry. I want to go ahead and get long right here, and right now the market's coming to us. So let's just wait and see what happens. 108.80, we're looking to get long at 108.76. If we can do it, we're going to be looking to make about 10 pips on this trade. But if we get a quick 5, we may just take the 5 and move on to the next one. This could be pretty good. A little high-impact scalping for you on an early Thursday morning. 108.78, so we're just about in the market, and that's coming right to us. And that should be our election. Okay, we are elected right now. Price is going against us. Right now, we're filling in that CPI bar. Now, watch price action. Now, remember, there is a reason why we have stop losses. If we get swept out of this, then we're done. We don't worry about it. We'll come back. We'll look to go long from 108.63. But right now, our level's putting up a nice fight. We're right around entry. We're up a few fractional pips, and we're starting to get that rebound that I'm looking for, 108.77. Now, remember, we're looking for right about 108.85-ish, 86-ish is going to be our profit target here. The real question is how fast do we get there, or do we get there at all? Right now, our 1 minute 38% level is panning out to be very, very good for us. We're up a couple of pips on this trade. You can see price is really volatile. We're really jumping around right now. This is a hammer. Okay, we've got a 1 minute hammer setting up. That's a great thing for me. That sort of shows that price action is reversing in our favor. And right now we're up about, 4 pips, 5 pips. This trade could take a little while to iron itself out. If you're in the bonus money right now, like right now with our leverage, we're up about $500, $490, $550. Okay, we're at 81. Right now we're up 5 pips. Can we get that extra 5 pips? 82. Hit me again. 83. Show me 83, 81. 81 coming back down our way. What do we want to do right now? Do we want to take the money, move to break even, or stay in this trade? For me, we're back down to 79. We're up 3 pips. I would be very careful with what I do from here on in. Do we want to go to break even? I don't necessarily know if that's the best idea. We're going to let this thing go for at least another 20 seconds, 15 seconds. 80, we've still got a real nice move there. We've got about 3 pips, 4 pips. We were up as much as 6 pips here on this trade. We were up there right there at 108.82, 79.80. Do we get a big break here on our next 5-minute bar or 1 minute bar? We're up at 81. I'm up about $500 on this trade. I'm going to go ahead and take the money right now. I always believe in taking profits where they're available. Remember, this is a high-impact trading event. That is scalping 101. If we're in there with a highly leveraged position, then we step up, we make the money, and we move on. Right now, I believe it's becoming more and more high risk to stay in this trade. Looking for another 5 pips, I'm out. I took the money. Why did I take the money? Because sometimes you got to ring the cash register and just make it. If we stayed in this trade, do we have a good shot at hitting our profit target up there at 85? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. It's like fishing, guys. When you fish, sometimes there's an old saying, you fish or cut bait. Right there, we're going to go ahead and cut bait. We're going to take our profits, and we're going to move on to the next trade. So, as far as, what we're going to be looking to do the rest of today, I'm going to go ahead and get into what this CPI really, not really what it meant. I'm going to unpack all that later for you at the U.S. mid-session brief. But for right now, what we're going to try to do is find another trade, and I want to really show you the U.S. indices before we sign off today and get you prepped and ready for that Wall Street Open. So Euro USD, you can see we're ticking higher. Are we going to get an opportunity at our profit target? Yes, more than likely we're going to hit it. That's okay. That trade's over. As far as our gold trade, what's happening in gold? Well, we've got more of a stubborn market in gold. As much as I would love to buy a pullback, I don't really know that we're going to get one. The same strategy would apply here. You'd be looking to buy pullbacks from 38% and get that quick scalp, that really hot, high-impact scalp. I just don't know that we're going to get that for gold. More than likely, we're going to have to go to a 5-minute chart, something like this, as we dive into the U.S. session. And you can see right there's your CPI 5 minutes, and then there's your big look at the 24 level, and now we're retracing off. Great Britain pound USD, you can see we were talking about potentially scalping to the short above that yearly high. That did not work. We broke out to the bull. We went right up to that 129.35 area. Here's your 4-hour chart. If you wanted to trade with a little bit of, I would say confidence and swagger for the rest of the day, Nice 4-hour range is setting up beautifully. Bids from 128.75 are great. If you can get those later today. For right now, what do we want to do? Well, let's pull up our 5-minute chart here and see exactly where we're at. This is a beautiful thing. This is setting up beautifully. We've got that pre-CPI spike low. We've got a big break right there, and now we're just sort of trading sideways. So the real question here is, where can we get long? And it's really the same thing that we just did with the Euro USD. 129.09. We're probably bidding 129s now. We're not selling them anymore. Why? We broke above that yearly high. Odds are we're going to extend this breakout a bit further for the month. Now we're up about, I would say, well, we're up over about 2%. So this is going to be interesting for this Great Britain pound USD. I think a high impact scalp from that zone would not be a bad thing to do. It's just the real question is are we going to get that pullback or aren't we? Let me see right here. Real Cedric Gold, 5K USD profit. Nice job, Cedric. Inflation, 3%. Can you believe it? We're talking about all-time highs in inflation, and we're saying that it's a good thing. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I really don't. It's a baffler. Big picture, when we're going into the U.S. session, clearly, you got U.S. oil here, and we're going to trade oil pretty much all day long. But what I want to really talk about now is let's look at a U.S. index. Excuse me. US 30, this is a good look at it. Now, here's your monthly chart. I just want to point out that we are very much in an uptrend. There's your big break. There's your pullback month. Pullback month was in April, and now we're grinding higher. You can see we're right at all-time highs. This is bullish, bullish, bullish. Now, I would definitely have a bullish read right now towards U.S. stocks, but I'm looking to sell these things later in the year. We'll talk more about that in the trading room as it develops. But take a good look at what's happened here. Nice big bullish run, pullback. Now we're moving higher. Well, what can we do? We want to get long. I want to get long any way that I can. A monthly chart's not going to help me do that. A weekly chart, is that going to help me do it? Not really, but we really should have an idea of the market dynamic and exactly where these key levels are. You got a triple top right there. High, high, high. Okay. What do we want to do here? I want to buy it. One last thing before we move out of this weekly. What do you have here? It's a cup with handle. I mean, that's an ugly drawing, but that's a cup with a handle right there. Right there. There's your cup. There's your handle. There's your break. It's bullish. Got a bullish breakout here on the weekly. Can I trade it using the weekly chart? No. How about the daily chart? I would love to be able to do something like this, buying a macro pullback right there. 39,573, 39,575. That's fantastic. I mean, that's an absolute, what I would call a banger play. The problem is we're about 200 points up the queue. So how do we trade it right now? Let's go to our 5-minute chart and see what's happened. You'll notice that all these charts look the same, don't they? Why do they all look the same? Because the USD is taking it on the chin right now. USD, we lose value in the USD. What happens? Commodities rally. All right, our majors, Euro USD, Great Britain pound, all those rally. What happens to stocks? Stocks rally too. Why? Because we're looking for a rate cut. We're looking to inject more money into the system and get that long-term growth potential that we're looking for out of stocks. What happened here? Pull back right to your 38%. Down there at 39,770. Would I trade this the rest of the day? No. Why? There's your news, okay? This is your news bar. Expect that to fill in as the day goes on. It's one thing that we see over and over again, especially from U.S. equities, is you're going to really see these news-inspired bars. Those typically fill in as the news session goes on. So if I'm going to be trading the U.S. 30 here going into the U.S. session, I'm using my 30-minute chart. I'm watching this candle closely. I fully expect us either to trade over the top or beneath the bottom of this candle. Fully expect it. I don't think there's any doubt about it. So be very careful. I don't necessarily believe you're going to get a huge trend day out of these markets. I think that we're going to wind up doing some whipsaw action, and that's one of the ways that we trade. We look for something called the pendulum. It's a strategy that I go over quite often. And what it is it's a way to trade ranges, really high impact, important ranges. Pendulum's a strategy built by Mario Singh. If you're not familiar with the pendulum, check out the trading room. We'll go ahead, we'll get you in there, we'll get you up and running. We've got instructional videos, we've got PDFs, we've got everything you need to trade the pendulum. What is it? It's going to give us a chance to trade this CPI zone. If we get a test of that top and then a failure, we're going to look to sell. If we get a test of this low down here and a bounce, 10% bounce, then we're going to be looking to buy. It's going to be pretty good stuff. And right now I love news days because things like the pendulum set up, and they're very, very great. They're excellent ways to trade news days because that initial shock that we just saw, that we just made money on the Euro USD with, that initial shock eventually wears off. And when all the traders come to the table, then we have a chance to really make money on that established range. Sort of a sophisticated way of looking at the markets. I think that we can absolutely kill it if we do it in the right fashion. Let me see. Let's see. Oswald, what is the time frame? For me, when I'm trading U.S. indices, I'm trading the 30-minute chart. And I look at the New York session. Today, I expand that out because we're looking right here at your CPI bar. So I want to know my CPI bar. My trading day today started with CPI, but most of the time I'm using a 30-minute chart, and I'm looking at the New York session, which starts at about 45 minutes from now, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 a.m. My time out here in Dillon, Montana. So something to think about that. So that's what we're looking at as far as trading the indices goes. For me, I'm going to be addressing your futures contracts. Now, I'm a futures trader for all of those in the United States or anybody that trades futures. This is sort of my bread and butter, and this is what I like to do. Why do I like to trade futures? Because it's an exchange-based what would I say, products. They're exchange-based, meaning there is no OTC pricing, there are no spreads. It's not necessarily 100% true, but the spreads are very, very tight. So if I'm trading this, you can see exactly what happened. We've already scalped our 38%. Right here's your trading DOM. This is the E-mini Dow. You'll see right there you went down to 38% on this 5-minute chart. Why am I using a 5-minute now? I'm scalping, and I want to scalp that range, that CPI range. Absolutely huge. Let me see. Bobby Bob. Wow, what a move, waiting for retracements. I agree, Bobby. I think that we're going to play the retracements. Just be careful. Be very careful with that U.S. Open. A lot of times you see whipsaw trade on pretty much everything as all of that cash comes into the system. So that's exactly what you want to look at as we roll forward in time. For me, I wouldn't be afraid of trading this zone down here. I like 40,000 and 41. I think the bottom end of that golden zone, and that's a video that we're going to have out relatively soon, the golden zone strategy. But this one right here, 62%, down there around 0.41. Something like that is absolutely huge. A couple other things that we can look at here. One thing that I always do like to look at, Euro USD, you can see we hit our profit target, so maybe we should have left it. For me, I thought it was real important to take the money. Right here, dollar yen. Now, this is a big one. Everybody's trading the yen these days, and they have been for about the last 2 years. Take a look at this thing. That's a move right there. Now, that's sort of a signal that maybe the yen is going to gain a little bit of puff against the USD, and that's an absolute monster move. You're off almost 2%. What do I want to do right now? Let's get rid of everything. We can even get rid of all my indicators. Who cares? Let's just look at price action. That's a big-time bearish move. What do I want to do? There's two approaches to when you get a big move like this on something like the dollar yen. Number one, you either want to join the intraday trend at all costs, and we're going to look at how to do that in a second. Or when we're moving 2%, we want to find a macro support zone and maybe get great trade location in a rare opportunity to buy a currency that's been trending as hard as this thing's been trending for a long time. Let's go to our monthly levels. We're still way off of 153. Put that in your head, though. That trade could come into play next week, could come into play next month. Bidding 38%, probably a pretty good idea, especially when you're looking at a currency pair that's trended the way that the dollar yen's trended. Let's go right there to the weekly. Okay, this may get us in right now. I know I'm moving fast. That's just because we have a lot to cover. Believe me, you watch a few of these live streams, you start to get up to speed relatively quickly. Spike low there, spike high there. We've taken out 38%. Where would my buy be now? Ooh, 157.35. The tail end of my golden zone. That's a beautiful trade. And we'll have this written up as a trade idea a bit later on today. That's a pretty good one. I wouldn't hesitate at all. I think we could get it right now. It's only another 100 pips, and I mean the yen is just making hay, making hay. We're going to ignore the daily. We already looked at that. How about the 5-minute? Now you'll notice this is the complete opposite of what we were just looking at. Those other assets I showed you were all rallying. Why? Because of the weak dollar. Dollar yen, that counter currency is the Japanese yen. It's gaining strength in a big, big way. And what do you have here? You have a trending market. So I would highly recommend selling this thing on short time frames and look to bid that macro level. And you can see we're just on the run. And how would you do this on the fly? You just keep looking for a swing low right there. You had a swing low right there. Boom, boom, boom. Pull back to 38%, and then you came off. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. It really doesn't. I'm watching this closely. I'm selling pullbacks all day long on the dollar yen until it turns. But I tell you what, my opinion of this market, still bullish, major correction, still bullish. 157.35 is an absolute banger of an entry. I would consider making that trade every day and twice on Sunday. 159.61 I'd be selling right now. If you get a chance, it's 100 pips away. I don't know that you get a chance. I would much rather buy 157.34. I think that's a great trade as well. All right, everybody, I want to thank you for joining me today. Remember, CPI is a huge event. You guys saw it. You witnessed it today firsthand. What we're worried about here is the trajectory of CPI, and today it's sort of tapered off a little bit. And you can see right here, we're going to get sort of that flat CPI, raw CPI read, which we got something real similar that happened last September, and then inflation took off again. Can we say that this is the end of the inflationary cycle? No, we cannot. Take a look at our 5 years. I mean, the slope of this inflation has been devastating to everybody. What do we think is going to happen to our interest rates? This was before our release. We had about a 72% chance of a rate cut in September. Now it's going to be much higher than that. And I'm going to cover all this. I'm going to unpack all these things on the U.S. mid-session brief here coming up in about 4 hours. Strategies. If you're brand new to the room, strategies. A lot of people love our strategies. They're pretty good. I would really check these videos out. These are available at howtotrade.com. You're going to be looking at the Piranha, the Pendulum, the Trend Rider, the Japanese Noodle strategy, and the Bollinger W. I didn't even cover the W. We had a great W going on in the Kiwi. So this is really a big part of what we do here. We have Bach the Talk, which is a news-based strategy, and we also have our own analyst-provided expertise, which is Smart Money Concepts. Brought to you by the other analyst, Connor Woods, and then also myself. I work with the Fibonacci Counterpunch, and you just saw a real example of all the Fibonacci's that we've done today. Okay, one more question, then I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Let's see, Matthew, what's your analysis on the Great Britain Pound USD? Relatively straightforward, Matthew. We had a nice sell. We wanted to get the sell going right from beneath 129. That thing got freight trained out. Clearly, we got stopped on that, but now we're just buying pullbacks. For right now, if it ain't broke, it don't fix it. If you're an order block trader, I'm a Fibonacci trader, but I do respect order blocks, especially when they're apparent, and I like it when they form around a big round number. 5-minute chart, what do you have right here? That's an order block. Big time rally, then we sort of slowed down. I got some compression and then a break. This area right here suggests bidders right around 129.18. That's where I would be looking to buy a pullback for right now. But I got to tell you guys, this market's really taken off. Your bullish breakout is on in the Great Britain Pound USD. Probably, if we don't get this trade relatively soon, we're going to have to switch gears to a 4-hour chart, and then we're going to be looking to buy pullbacks really over the next 24 hours. And I think that could be a very good way to trade this thing. And your entry points are going to be something like this. I know that's sloppy and ugly, but right around 128.85, maybe 129 even. We just have to wait and see how this move develops here in the Great Britain Pound USD. But the 5-minute chart is really what I'm basing my decisions on right now because we got that big CPI move. All right, Mark Corp, you're absolutely welcome. My pleasure, guys. Funny business isn't a buy. Gold. Well, I mean, we'll take one last look at gold and call it. I see demand on gold at 24.02. My trades are all relatively similar. I'm looking for pullback. So your demand zone, let's see right here. Let's see the 20s guys in Indonesia. Your minute one chart, you've got a gold zone right here. You can see that 5-minute doji. So that would essentially be your demand zone. So that would be where people are looking to bid this thing. I don't know that we get a pullback on gold. There's your 1 minute chart. Do I want to buy on a 1 minute chart right now? I would avoid that. I think we're going to get really choppy here relatively soon. As far as, that's a tremendous move in gold. It really is. This would be moving into the New York session. Let me take a look. You're up about a 1.5 or just over 1% in the last 30 minutes. I want to buy pullbacks. If I could buy pullbacks, that's a beautiful thing. Are we going to get one later today? Absolutely, we could get one. I would love it if that pullback's right at 124. And these are trade ideas that we're going to cover on the next stream here in about 4 hours, but that could be a very, very robust trade. Let's go to our macro time zones. Let's go down. Let's dial out. Let's step back the view from 10,000 feet. Here's your monthly chart. I always encourage traders, if they find themselves getting lost, step back. Step back. Alfredo, can you look at the S&P 500? Okay, I'll look at the S&P here in just a second, and that'll be the last one. Spike low right there. Okay, there's your big time zone. We were talking about that 75 area. We've been talking about it forever. For right now, what do we need to focus on? All-time high. What's that all-time high? 2450. Your number may be a little bit different depending on your broker, but you get my meaning. That spike high that developed back in May, that's huge. That's absolutely huge. So if I'm interested in doing something like this, right there, 24,449, that could be fantastic. I'd be looking to scalp right in front of that all-time high. But right now, it looks like we're going there. So if you want to buy it, I don't blame you. Just wait for a good entry. Get a robust entry. For me, market's moving fast. It would probably be a function of your 5-minute chart. You'd want to do something like this. Definitely something like that. That's about all there is to it. We're just following price, buying pullbacks. All right, one last look. Let's see, S&P 500. I'll start out with the US 500, and then we're going to go to a futures contract because I'd love to trade it. This is a great example, guys. This is exactly what I was talking about with the U.S. indices. There's your big move. There's your CPI move. What has happened now? We have settled back into that CPI move. For me, Alfredo, the way that I'm going to be looking to trade these U.S. indices is I'm going to be doing something like this. I'm going to go 30-minute chart, and I'm going to say, okay, Shane, what does it look like to you? This has pendulum trade written all over it. It really does. We've got the top of our zone. I would wait for that opening 30 minutes of trade, and my pendulum would probably be off of that New York low to that New York high. I'm not sure that we go any higher than that. If, in fact, we test 56, 54 again, I'd be looking to sell that thing on a 10% pullback from resistance. I think it'd be fantastic. 6K, Luna made 6K EU profit. Please, what is the best time frame to trade on? It's different for everything, Osu. It's different for everything. You're going to be trading. I trade 30-minute charts on my equities indices going into a New York session. Forex, I'm trading a 4-hour chart. I'm trading a daily chart, weekly chart, monthly charts. Multiple time frame analysis. Tune into the trading room. We walk through it every single day. But for every market, it's different. Okay, we want a 5-minute. You want a 5-minute pullback on the S&P 500. I think the pullback's over, Alfredo. I really do. Okay, I can already tell you the 78% level is going to be relevant here. So we're going to have to go ahead. I got to get back over to my golden zone. And let's see, where are we at? We're trading 78%. I would almost bet on it. There it is. This is make or break right here, Alfredo. 56.30. That's make or break. If that level goes, then we're going to run and make a new low. In my opinion, you're probably going to be making a new low. Do I want to sell in here? No, I don't. I don't want to sell. Our market driver's too bullish. I want to be very, very careful. Thank you, Shane. You are the master of my universe. I don't know about that. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. You can follow me on Twitter or X if you like this kind of analysis. I put a few things out every day. You can also get over to the How to Trade trading room. I highly recommend that. We're going to have a lot of changes coming our way, really trying to put that information out. We do daily analytics, trade ideas, analysis. We have a team of 2 market analysts right now and trading coaches. We'll take your private messages. We'll look at your analysis. We'll do our best to help you out any way that we can. So you can certainly do that. So you're going to want to check out the How to Trade trading room. You can follow me on Twitter at ShaneV_trader. And we try to get our ideas out there in a timely fashion each and every day. I always say there's a way to make money every day. There's also a way to lose money every day. And I always stress that caution is the better part of valor. And I'm a bit distracted right now because I'm watching that. Okay, there goes the S&P 500. You're seeing that 78% level under pressure. We're going to make a new New York low, and we'll set that pendulum up. Those pendulum trades we'll have set up for the midday, the midday stream. I think it's going to be absolutely a beautiful day to trade. I want to thank everybody for joining me here in the trading room. It's always a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. On YouTube, it's always great. Be sure to check out the trading room, and we'll do our best to get you up and running as a profitable trader in no time flat. Once again, thanks very much. Trade the action well, and we'll see you at the U.S. Mid-Session Brief.